Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's show, US city volunteers arrived at Linden High School in New Jersey to hand out cash cards to Hurricane Sandy survivors. In Japan, city volunteers are holding 4 year-end blessing ceremonies in different areas of Miyagi Prefecture. And in today's regular look on Taiwan's fading industry, we meet a group of oil mining staff at the CPC Corporation. In the United States, for several students at Linden High School in New Jersey, their families continue to struggle to rebuild their homes after Hurricane Sandy. To help these struggling families, the high school put together a fundraising drive. Hu DeJiang, who teaches Chinese at the school and have received Tzu Chi's help in the past, asked the Buddhist NGO to step in and give a helping hand. Tzu Chi volunteers responded by arriving at the school to hand out cash cards to those students in need. Here's more. Arriving at Linden High School in New Jersey, volunteers are met by Hu DeJiang, who teaches Chinese at the school. Aware that some students here are still suffering the effects of Hurricane Sandy now 2 months on, Hu asked Tzu Chi to help. Tzu Chi responded by holding an aid distribution for those in need.
Mother was actually going to write something for the holidays for them because they helped us so much with their donations and everything. And I basically, I'm mostly put down for my niece because she's a baby and I love her so much. And
told us of your kindness and wanting to help. So we welcome that. And we appreciate your generosity. I think that was most unexpected and greatly appreciated by our students here.
Hu today has completed the cycle of love by volunteering on the behalf of others.
I now understand by what Tzu Chi calls these families to which we donate money to as care recipients. We should thank them for teaching us about the impermanence of life.
Many students here are still suffering the aftermath from Sandy. To help, the school held a fund drive and quickly raised $1,500.
Spirit still was very strong, that they were continuing to say, we were okay, but there's worser families out there. And I knew that they had lost their homes.
From givers to receivers, the love that flowed in the wake of disasters has brought everyone much closer together.
We're just trying our best to, keep everything going and stay strong, basically. But yes, I really am so thankful for everything that they're doing.
Moving to China in Linyi of Shandong province, where temperatures have dropped to 11 degrees below zero, Tzu Chi volunteers held a winter aid distribution to hand out aid supplies to local residents. To keep everyone warm, the volunteers served ginger tea as they were waiting to pick up their relief supplies.
At the distribution site, the recipients dance with Tzu Chi volunteers who hand out not only blankets and clothing, but also blessings. In this first ever winter aid distribution in Shandong province, 2,406 residents, most of whom are seniors, came to pick up relief items. Thankfully, volunteers were on hand to help these seniors carry the heavy aid supplies home. On this day, the temperature is 11 degrees below zero in Dazhongchun town of Changshan County. To keep everyone warm, the volunteers serve hot ginger tea. The volunteers' warmth also follow the residents back home.
I ate 2 steamed buns and drank half a bowl of ginger tea. I poured the rest of the tea out here. Look at this. This is good stuff.
This 84-year-old senior cherishes Tzu Chi's kindness and plans to drink the rest of the tea tomorrow.
This is what we sent to the grandma when we were conducting a relief survey. She kept the bag.
Cherishing the volunteers' love, the seniors are all smiles, which inspire the volunteers to give further.
In the United Kingdom, Manchester City volunteers held their annual winter aid distribution at a local day centre where the homeless or others in need can visit and get a warm meal to eat. This year, the volunteers prepared not only the usual winter hat and gloves, but also included City's instant rice and carefully translated the preparation instructions. Both volunteers and recipients alike felt the blessings from this joyous occasion.
Placing a Tzu logo sticker on a plastic container and a sticker with directions on Tzu's instant rice packs. Preparations are underway for the upcoming winter aid distribution. Tzu volunteers are celebrating the holidays with these friends staying at the Cornerstone Day Centre in Manchester. This winter aid distribution has been an annual event since 2008, and each year the volunteers look forward to the day as much as those waiting to receive their supplies.
To celebrate the end of a peaceful year, Tzu volunteers in Japan have organized 4 year-end blessing ceremonies in Miyagi Prefecture from December 22nd to the 24th. Residents were happy to see the familiar faces of Tzu volunteers, and many brought their bamboo coin banks to donate a little of their love.
4 hours prior to the start of Tzu's year-end blessing ceremony, despite the rain and cold, Tzu volunteers are visiting residents in Ishinomaki City as they make the final invitations for the year-end celebration. Here at the year-end blessing ceremony in Ishinomaki City, old friends reunite. The survivors of the 311 earthquake are happy to see the volunteers, and faced with the volunteers' care, they embrace it with open arms.
I received all your kindness. Seeing all of you Tzu volunteers here today, I no longer feel like an outsider. When I see you, I just want to hug you.
From first observing on the sidelines to learning of Tzu, 1 year after the disaster, Yamauchi Yukiro now talks of Tzu passionately to encourage those in his community.
We might feel we should reciprocate in some way because we received Tzu's consolation cash, but don't worry, because seeing you all happy and healthy and cherishing the life ahead of you is the biggest comfort for Tzu volunteers.
Continuing their footsteps, Tzu volunteers arrive at Higashimatsushima City the following day to bring their blessings to local residents. Upon receiving their blessing and wisdom red envelope, Higashimatsushima City's residents carefully study the Buddha image on it. Many feel it brings serenity and calm, and some have even decided to honor it in their home.
I asked the volunteer whether I may put this blessing red envelope at my shrine at home, as I pay my respects to God every day, and I want to do the same with this envelope as well.
Finding joy through giving and helping others through charitable deeds would best describe the Tzu volunteers in the eyes of Higashimatsushima's residents. Having received consolation cash following the 311 quake and tsunami, the residents have responded enthusiastically to the spirit of the bamboo bank era. Among them is Sugawara Michio, along with his retired partners from the self-defense forces, who actively promoted the bamboo bank at City Hall and even received support from the city's mayor. These bamboo coin banks donated to Tzu are the accumulated blessings of many divisions.
I know the consolation cash we received were donations from 39 countries, and I was so moved. Now that our lives have returned to normal, I hope to reach out to those less fortunate. So I started to promote the idea of the bamboo coin bank.
Tzu's love has traveled thousands of miles from Taiwan to Japan, bringing solace and comfort to these residents who now can say, "Arigatou gozaimasu."
新年おめでとうございます。私たちは元気です。
Following Cyclone Nargis in 2008, Tzu Chi was one of the first organizations on the ground helping citizens of Myanmar recover from the devastation caused by the storm. In addition to delivering immediate emergency care, Tzu Chi also put in place several medium and long-term plans that included the rebuilding of schools destroyed by the disaster. Recently, several of these long-term plans have come to fruition as the first two schools were finished in 2010 and 2011 respectively, while the third school is scheduled for completion in January 2013.
Standing in the Myeonggang No. 1 High School, Tzu Chi volunteers carefully survey the second phase of construction currently underway. With 80% of the school completed, it is estimated that the construction of the region's biggest high school will be finished in January of 2013. The Myeonggang No. 1 High School is the third school Tzu Chi has built in the region following Cyclone Nargis. Although a local construction company is in charge of the construction, volunteers fly in monthly from Taiwan to monitor the progress. In the future, the school will not only provide students with a proper learning environment, but will also be a vehicle for introducing Tzu Chi's humanitarian spirit into the school and community.
A group of Tzu Chi volunteers from Malaysia came to check on how the people here were doing and to find out how to use love and care to inspire the goodness in people here. I donated money in the past and would come back once or twice a year to check on things, but after getting to know Tzu Chi and the master, I've learned that helping others is not a one-shot deal. From this, I've really seen the master's compassionate heart.
For the past 5 years, Tzu Chi has been in Myanmar helping not only educate minds but open hearts.
In Kota Kinabalu, Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers invited care recipients to the local liaison office in an effort to further introduce them to Tzu Chi's work. Volunteers also seized the opportunity to encourage the recipients to adopt a bamboo coin bank and join Tzu Chi in helping those in greater need.
On a cold rainy day, Tzu Chi volunteers hold a special event for care recipients at the Tzu Chi Kota Kinabalu liaison office. The volunteers' thoughtful gesture, which keeps the recipients from getting wet, moves the 283 care recipients.
Master Zhen Yan is our founder.
At the event, the volunteers explain the history of Tzu Chi and the spirit of the bamboo coin banks. Meanwhile, the recipients are encouraged to spread the love received to help the less fortunate.
Who would like to adopt a bamboo coin bank? Later, we will hand them out. We have many.
We are not the only people having difficulties. There are more out there who are less fortunate. To reciprocate, we should help those who are suffering so that they can feel as comforted as we did.
The care recipients are also invited on stage to share their experiences in doing good deeds. Later, many of the families on site register to become Tzu Chi members.
I realize that others need donations, although I am just donating a little money, but many a little makes a mickle.
Our life is hard, but there are people whose lives are harder. As long as I am able to help, I'll try my best to help out.
At the end of the event, every participant, despite differences in faiths, prays together for a world free of disasters.
In recent years, adolescents performing acts of violence seems to have become more frequent. Many blame it on an increase in violent video games. However, parents might need to shoulder some of that responsibility instead of solely blaming the gaming industry. In our last series of internet addictions, we take a look at how video games may or may not be harming the next generation.
那我要把他打死。你要把谁打死？就是他。
Video games or online games are something every modern child grows up with. Many adolescents who have committed acts of violence have had their actions linked to playing violent video games. In the United States, the Columbine shooting in 1999 was said to stem from too much playing of the video game Doom. In the United Kingdom, the video game Manhunt was also linked to a brutal murder.
We cannot really hold these violent games responsible. What everyone should realize is a portion of children with special psychological traits can be influenced after repeatedly playing these games. It doesn't affect every child in the same way.
Michael Hyland is a video game addict. He made a film describing his addiction to gaming and his inability to decipher real life from virtual life.
Play enough video games and eventually you will really believe you can snowboard, fly a plane, drive a 9-second quarter mile, or kill a man. I know I can.
The more advanced video games become, the more difficult it is to separate the real from the virtual. This video game is rated PG-15 according to Taiwan's Ministry of Economics. However, those under 15 years of age are still able to download the game and play if they set up an account.
The simplest way to set age limits on games is to require the payment method to be credit cards only, as most young children do not have access to a credit card.
Instead of relying on game makers to set age requirements, parents should watch over their children's game playing. In 2005, online gaming required paying monthly fees. However, in more recent years, online gaming has switched to no fees, thus lowering the age of players dramatically.
The main result of no fees is the increase of younger players, as those in elementary school or junior high have little allowance money.
Many of the younger players become interested in video games through family members, like an older sibling. Although games might be free at the beginning, in the end they are not so free.
If a player wants to get to the next level, they have to purchase items. If a gamer doesn't have those tools or skills, then they might spend up to 10 or 20 more hours on getting to the next level.
On the other hand, Taiwan's government is hoping to develop more talents in the high-tech sector by pushing the 2 trillion Twin Star, or T3S plan.
Previously, we've mostly used joystick controllers, but now we are integrating exercising equipment as a controller. We will connect the motion of the player stepping on the machine to how the character in the game moves.
Providing a fun game is one thing, but for these future game developers, the responsibility of designing a game can be heavy.
A group of students wanted to design a crosswalk game. However, the students were worried that after running through so many red lights in the game, children may feel that disobeying traffic rules is normal. So in designing a game, there's a certain level of responsibility.
In preventing adolescent addiction to online games, Korea has implemented a program that automatically shuts off the computer after a certain time, as well as stricter video game classification. For its own parts, Taiwan's government and companies need to consider finding a balance between social responsibility and the lure of making a profit.
Did you know that the clothes we're wearing and the TV we watch at home are all byproducts of refined petroleum? Our transportation tools such as the car, train and airplane also rely heavily on petroleum. In today's feature report on Taiwan's unique trades, we meet a group of oil miners and learn the hard work that goes into searching for petroleum. Carrying wires on their shoulders and walking through various villages and townships, these are the route organizers of Taiwan's CPC Corporation.
There are snakes or bees around. That's a cobra. There are many of those around here. We often go past cemeteries, but when we are going past them, I always remind the team leader and staff to show their respect and let them know we are just inspecting the ground.
While the team inspects the ground before burying the wires, these seismic vehicles are needed to do the real job.
The seismic vehicles send vibrations on the ground. As each layer varies in size and character, it will be reflected in the speed it travels back to us, and the result will show on the receiver above ground.
The signals from the receiver will determine if there is crude oil underground.
If we are able to discover anything, it will mainly be natural gas. There are only a few wells that have crude oil now.
Finally finding a possible oil reservoir for excavation, the hard work is just about to begin. On the 6.1-meter tall platform, the drilling pipe is expected to dig some 1,000 meters underground, and this hole is pumping out mortar from beneath it.
Making a concrete wall for the well, and depending on the thickness level, there's a few things we put in.
Adding other substances into the mortar, the new mixture is pumped inside the drilling hole to ensure it does not collapse. There are 48 staff, including technician Lian Guilong, who are on a 24-hour shift and will continue to work for the next 100 days.
I think this is an interesting job. That's why I insisted on joining this department. They never had a female engineer on the team before.
29-year-old Guo Yanlu is the only female engineer in CPC's Exploration and Production Business Division. Guo doesn't mind getting herself dirty in the drilling process and really enjoys her work.
Don't you think it's really cool that we don't know what's hidden some 3,000 to 4,000 meters underground? We just drill our way down and we have no idea what to expect. Everything is uncertain.
When there's a storm out there, it is quite difficult for us, especially because our job requires a lot of labor, and there is also the risk of these operations up in the air. We have to be extremely careful. Strictly speaking, you need to be brave and willing to take risks to work in this industry.
Come night time, these oil miners busily continue their work, which is a rare sight in the densely populated Taiwan. In Malaysia, the Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter held 2 sessions of the Night of Great Luck event to introduce Tzu Chi and DaAi TV to nearly 3,000 local residents. On the night, the DaAi drama depicting the story of Tzu Chi volunteer Liu Ji-yu and Tzu Chi's work in Malaysia was introduced, and actors who starred in the drama was also present. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.